Hey guys, it's ESG, and I just wanted to do a video covering the early retirement guide by Forbes Advisor. I have not read through the article yet, but we'll just kind of take a look at the bullet points and I will tell you what I think, being an early retiree myself. So let's get into this one here. The first bullet point that they have is your vision for early retirement. And typical FIRE knowledge, FIRE is financial independence, retire early, is that there's lean FIRE, fat FIRE, and coasting FIRE. I believe that those are the three types of financial independence that they describe, that is most commonly described. Lean FIRE being you're like almost living below the poverty level, and you might have a side job or something like that. You're not spending a lot of money on fancy things or anything like that. Regular FIRE, you could have a part-time job or not, but you definitely live at like a regular living standard. And then fat FIRE would be like you're spending like over $100,000 a year and you're living a fairly typical, American lifestyle, doing whatever you please, really, like buying a car every 2 years and doing all that other stuff. And you really don't have that much worry about ever running out of money. So you have a lot more playroom with fat FIRE. I would consider myself just a coasting FIRE individual because I still have a part-time job that I want to do. I pretty much cut out all the work that I don't want to do, and I will not go back to it. Yeah, I live a fairly average lifestyle and spend an average amount of money. Okay, so what's your vision? You have those three different types of FIRE that you could do. Now, obviously, if you go for fat FIRE, your passive income is going to have to be a lot. You're going to have a lot of savings, a lot of income, and a mechanism that works and that is fairly regular. You're going to have pretty even returns on that, which is harder to do because say you invest in bonds at like a 3 or 4% level, you'd have to have a lot more money invested in that than you would have to for the S&P 500, but you would have stable returns. So it's going to take you longer to get there for most of us. It just depends. If you're not a person that likes to work for a corporation and have a 9-to-5 job, you probably consider lean FIRE. You could get out pretty soon. You just need to save a little bit of money, make a few passive income plays, and you're there. And then vastly reduce your overhead expenses, like really, really, like you're going and getting catch up from In-N-Out because it's free or something like that. So they're basically saying like fishing and golfing, what are you going to do if you retire early? Golfing's quite expensive. Fishing can be too if you're on a boat. I would be more like fat FIRE situations in my estimation. Or you could do like a little bit of golfing and a little bit of fishing if you're in coasting FIRE. So what is your vision? That is definitely like something that you're going to have to plan out. Your health insurance plan. Okay, for me, this was the biggest source of worry, was what was our health insurance going to look like when we retired? And we have a state health insurance plan, and it's based on our income level. Since I did work most of this year, it is more expensive this year and then can be readjusted next year. It is ridiculous how little I pay for healthcare. It was just the fact that I did not trust it. And I have financial advisors. I did my financial independence, and I must have met with them for about 20 hours worth of meetings. It's still like you're making a plan for your lifetime, not like 5 or 10 years. The 5 or 10 year plan is to get to a point where you can consider retiring early, but you're looking like, I expect to live till 90. I have to have enough money till I'm 90, and healthcare is a huge expense. So I got that down. And depending on where you live in the world, it could be very expensive or very cheap. And it turns out, like they're mentioning Cobra here. Cobra is very expensive. I didn't have to go on Cobra. I just switched to the state plan, and it was the same insurance that I was already on. And it was like a fifth the cost because my income level dropped so much. Okay, number 3 here, plan out your early retirement housing. I just paid off my mortgage. That's all I did. And that was that got to be stressful because it took so long. After a while, it was like this ball and chain around my neck, and I was just tired of it. I was tired. Like at first it was fun, but then towards the end, it's like, why isn't this gone yet? Like I want this gone. And eventually I got there, and then you just feel like there's a huge weight gone from you. You don't owe anyone anything. And that was the last form of debt that I had. And like what I teach just mirrors what everyone else is saying. Like mortgage debt is okay at first, but eventually you need to get it paid off. You could downsize your home. The thing I don't like about that is you have to pay realtors unless you do it yourself. You could do it yourself, but I could move out of this house to a smaller one for sure. And that would save money, but you'd have to calculate your return on investment because you're going to have to pay fees buying and selling houses. And then how many years are you going to get the payoff on that? It could be 3 or 4. But if you're retiring with like you got 50 more years in your life, that's a good strat. Make major repairs. Yeah, I kind of wish I had done this. I didn't need a new roof or anything, so I didn't have to do any of that. But I am planning when my roof goes bad to get a solar roof, so I am saving for that. Complete renovations. I didn't do that. I need new bathrooms, but whatever. It's going to come eventually. Research homes in your dream locale. I already live in my dream locale. Plan to pay off a HELOC. I have a HELOC that I closed because I hadn't used it. I have enough money in my emergency bank account to where I don't need the HELOC. And it was annoying because they would constantly send ads to me. And the rate was adjustable, which kind of sucks because the rates are going up. Number 4, plan to keep earning income. The thing that I identified with my financial professionals was that there's a time gap. If you hit really bad times in the first 5 years of your retirement, or if there was like a 10-year recession, that could affect your finances later in life. So we did hit those bad times right now, but my income from my side jobs basically makes everything even. So I'm not taking out of my retirement funds right now. YouTube is also a net zero proposition. I'm not making any money off of YouTube. I don't make any money off of these videos. I don't have anything to sell you. I do this to share knowledge with you, to share my knowledge base, because I think that you guys should at least know about these financial concepts, because there's so much less stress in my life. Like, you conquer your finances, you're conquering a big form of stress for most Americans. So yeah, plan to keep earning income. So we did hit a recession the first year of my retirement. It's been retired for like 4 months now. And yeah, it's good to not have to worry about running out of money. So I'm definitely doing that. Have a social security strategy. What do they mean by that? Not only does your return you also need a clear vision for when you'll tap Social Security. I don't need Social Security. It's more like an insurance plan at this point. And I just plan on getting it as soon as I'm of age to get it. I guess I'll see, because that's like decades away. So, I know how much I'll get, but I don't depend on Social Security. Never have. I don't suggest that you do either. All that money could be gone, like all those rug pulled pensions that you hear about. Like, I have a pension. I don't rely on the pension either. I figure that's all money that's going to go into a furnace and be gone. Create a 10-year financial buffer. I feel like you don't need this if you've conquered your budget. So if you don't spend a lot of money, you don't need a 10-year financial buffer. You just need to make sure that you're having average returns. Don't hit a recession. If you hit a recession, you need to do part-time work to keep your budget even. And then once you crest the recession, like, you're really going to make money. Like, there's plenty of curves that you see. And during recession cycles, you're basically treading water. And then when there is, when the good times come, you make a ton of money. So it's all about not taking out of your funds during recessions. So I might actually go on a cycle where, like, for the next 10 years, I don't take out of my retirement. And then when the good times hit and we've crested this recession, take some money out to as a buffer. Okay, I could see that. Phase 2, early retirement. Phase 2, managing finances in early retirement. Set guidelines for your spending. Okay, if you get to early retirement, you're already going to have this. And if you don't have this already set, you're in big trouble. So that's a moot point. Adjust rate of return assumptions. This is a moot point because of the cycle that you're going to go through, the recession cycle and the boom cycle. Like, you already need to plan for this in the earlier phase. I think I assume everything that they're going to go over here, you should have already done in the early phase when you're ramping up for early retirement. So we already talked about this. Your return assumptions are going to be based on a cycle that goes up and down, which is what I teach in almost all my videos. The variability of returns on investment and the variability of your personal finances need to be accounted for. And that's the only way this works, right? You can't have debt because that adds variability. Consider segmenting your savings. Okay. You may think about bucketing your savings to try to capture market upside. Okay, we kind of already talked about that. You go to the Mad Scientist website. He basically has a risk score. So you withdraw more money during good times and less money during bad times. We already talked about this, but that's a tool that you could have in your shed. That would be a pretty cool one to look at. So your withdrawal rate changes as the economy changes. So yeah, that is a good thing to know about for sure. Remember to enjoy your early retirement. I definitely feel that that's correct because all my time is spoken for in early retirement after 3 months. And when I get days when they're a little slower, this crosses my mind. You need to enjoy yourself. And so we got to do something. We got to seize the day because you run out of things to do. There's only so many things you could do without 40-hour like anchor weight around your neck, right? Once you eliminate 40 hours from your schedule every week, or even more, depending on what you guys are doing to get there to early retirement, like, you're just coasting. You can do whatever you want. And so I make sure all my days are filled with something that's productive, that helps me health-wise, finance-wise, or just environment-wise, like cleaning up the house, doing yard work, stuff like that. But the day's got to be filled. Let me tell you, you go out and you're going to be fishing and golfing the whole time and overeating or whatever you're doing, you're going to run yourself into the grave. So you need to keep on up with the habits that you've practiced when you're getting to early retirement. Keep up with those habits. And it looks like that was it. So this was a cool article here. Forbes Advisor Early Retirement Guide. And that's my 2 cents on it. If you guys are subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're just starting out here. And next video is going to be on after 3 months of retirement. What do I think? Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one.